So I thought I would address um, the the concern or like some of the questions regarding the location, so that people who are not familiar with the area or people who are coming in as a newcomer could get a better understanding of the location and the area and whatnot. So this is my address. It's 88 Grandview Way. It's the apartment building. It's condominium building. So this is where it is. It's really close to Young. As you can see, there's a lot of like restaurants, whatnot. Grocery, there's a grocery store. This is a supermarket. It's currently on strike, but yeah, there's actually a supermarket that's like it's like a 1 minute walk. It's like you go downstairs across the street and then that's the supermarket. But yeah, in terms of the proximity, there's definitely a lot of things like nail salon, whatever. So this is where my building is. And I just want to also mention, so this is in the city called North York. So North York, it's currently like it has been combined with Toronto. So if you look at the address, my address is, I mean, if you say North York, it's also correct, but it's also Toronto. So it's 88 Grandview Way, Toronto, or it's 88 Grandview Way, North York. So it's the same. But yeah, I guess now it's been combined into Toronto. So North York is actually this entire area. This is downtown Toronto. This is East York, and this is Etobicoke, and this is North York. So this entire area is North York. This is where my building is, and it is a area that's center. So Yonge Street is a really big street, and so we're pretty close to the Yonge Street. Basically, this is the building, and then this is the Yonge Street. This is Yonge Street. So you can see this is Yonge Street. So this is the building. So we're really close to the Yonge Street, but we're not right on Yonge Street. So it's a bit more quiet than if you were right on Yonge Street. So there's subway stations. There's the Finch TTC subway station. So around here, there's a North York Center subway station. And then this is the Finch subway station. So we're right in the middle of two. So both these are about like 10-minute walk. Yeah, so just to kind of show you about North York. So this entire area is North York. And so the south of it is where downtown Toronto is like here. And York University is here. So it's sort of like a residential area, a bit of a suburb of downtown Toronto. So this is where downtown Toronto is. And like some people, I would say like this area is pretty safe. I mean, it is near Yonge Street. So Yonge Street is a super busy street. So it's not as quiet as like some of the super like residential area. But like sometimes like the more residential area, it's like even more quiet, obviously, and like even like more north, it's even more quiet in here. But I think it's pretty accessible, but yet it's sort of like it's a little bit more quiet than downtown. On the west end, so my roommates are moving to like near almost like near York University, this area. So I mean, this is also like this is the upcoming a newer area. So they have a lot of new condominiums. And it's not too close to Jen and Finch. The Jen and Finch is more like a lower income area. So we're pretty far. Obviously, we're pretty far. Where I live is pretty far from Jen and Finch. If you move to like a newer building, like a newer area, like York University is a little bit closer to Jen and Finch. But yeah, maybe I'll show you like the subway system. So this is like the subway system. It's called the Toronto Transit. So our building is like here. So yeah, this is so it's really close to the end of this yellow subway, Yonge subway line. So when I was commuting, I used to commute also from the similar location to Yonge and College. I would need to be there to be at Yonge College or the office at 8:30 Monday to Friday. And I mean it was okay. Like I would get up around 6 or 6:15-ish. Latest probably like 6:30-ish. And then I would leave the house around 7 to 15 before 7:30 because that kind of guarantees that I would always have a seat on the subway and more quiet during that time. It does get pretty busy around like 8 o'clock. So towards like 7:50, 8 o'clock, and to 9 o'clock, that's like the rush hour. And during the rush hour, the subway is really busy. Almost like, especially like you see Yonge and Shepherd is where the intersection. It's also a large station and it's a pretty busy subway station. So there's almost like you will never get a seat here on the subway if you commute during rush hour. So but our building's like here, so I was able to, yeah, if I leave a little bit early, usually I can get a seat, even if I just like I take the subway here. I use the North York Center subway station. Sometimes you might have a higher chance of getting a seat at Finch subway station because this is like the first. This is where the subway starts if it's going, going south, right? So, there's a higher chance of getting a seat if you use the Finch station. But I use the North York Center station most of the time, and during rush hour I would try to kind of avoid it by leaving a little bit earlier. And so this is Yonge and Bloor. It's also a really large subway station for if you need to transfer, like connect to a different subway. But yeah. So I used to do this commute Monday to Friday. It did get kind of tiring after a few years. It was kind of like, it was a little bit like exhausting after a few years if you have to do it Monday to Friday every single day. So I think the ideal situation is if you work downtown, ideally, I think a hybrid. If you have a hybrid schedule, it probably would work better. You might feel more comfortable. Currently, one of my roommate is commuting to like Queen Dundas, like around this place, and she does not work every single day in the office. She has a hybrid model. So that is something that you can consider. And I know that a lot of people, sometimes some people, they prefer to live around this area, like West End. Personally, I mean, I do like the Hyde Park. There's a park, a really large park. For me, I think I still do like very much like my area. I personally think this subway is cleaner. Or it's just I don't know. I just feel like personally, maybe I'm used to it. Like, for example, because Rosedale, because one of the a really good area is like in like around this area. Um, so like Rosedale, um, these are really good neighborhoods. And Young and Eglinton is here. Young and Eglinton, because of construction, is currently kind of like chaotic, but usually Young and Eglinton, without the construction, it would be like a good area as well. But yeah, so personally, I still prefer this subway line. I think it's actually I don't like most people who take the subway, they're just you can tell that they're just working, they're professionals. So personally, I do like it, but yeah, I understand that sometimes people also prefer this neighborhood, like on the west end. Um, so just so that you know. And yeah. And then also like some people, I mean, there are also a lot of condominiums uh near the lakefront or near harborfront. If you want to be really, really close to work, every single day, really close to work, you might also consider this area if your work is like near Union Station or like this, it'll be like super close if you are here. But if you choose my building, obviously you can see that there's commute time for sure. So if you need to be in the office Monday to Friday, maybe this would not be the best choice. But if you work a hybrid model and you prefer an area that is a bit more quiet, maybe you would like it. Um, and also, I think downtown is in general just more competitive sometimes. And it just like some buildings, like my building is super, it's more like a family oriented building. So it's very different from some of the buildings downtown. Some of the buildings downtown, they're very like when they're like more for like young people and obviously there's like no smoking pot in there's absolutely no smoking using cannabis in my building. But if you pick some of the buildings downtown, I think um a lot of people I know that it's super common, super like popular to use cannabis or like, smoking weed and stuff like that in the downtown buildings. And I'll try to, when I get a chance, I'll try to record videos around my area.